Now, Buddha Dhamma friends, this is Sarnath Stupa. Here only our Lord Buddha, he has given his first discourse to five ascetics. When Lord Buddha he enlightened under the Bodhi tree in Buddha Gaya, then he spent almost his 7 weeks. It is called the 7 weeks of enlightenment. So 49 days he spent there. After that, he thought to to whom I should give this Dhamma. So then he thought about to give five ascetics. Then he uh, walked till Buddha Gaya to Sarnath. Almost maybe 7 days he walked, and then he came down here and he preached uh, Dhamma to the first five disciples. It is called the Dhammacakka Pavatan Sutta also. Uh, so at that time of the Buddha, there was a strong belief among some people that one can attain liberation only by leading a life of strict asceticism. It was believed like that. In accordance with this view, the Buddha subjected himself to severe austerity for 6 years, then realized the utter futility of self mortification. He adopted a middle way, seeing this his five companions, Kondanya, Bhaddiya, Vappa, Assaji, and Mahanam, lost confidence in him and deserted him. After enlightenment, the Buddha decided to teach the Dhamma to them first. When his five former companions saw the Buddha approaching, they decided that they would offer him a seat because he was the son of their ruler but would not show any sign of respect. But as he came nearer, his infinite love and compassion and the glow on his face attracted them and they paid full respect to him. The turning of the wheel of Dhamma. The Buddha's first discourse is called the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the discourse of the turning of the wheel of Dhamma. The Buddha gave this discourse to his five former companions at the Deer Park in Isipatna near the Benares on the Asala full moon day on the month of July, 2 months after his enlightenment. In it, the Buddha expounded the middle path which he discovered and which forms the essence of his teaching. At the outset of the discourse, the Buddha said that these two extremes should be avoided by recluses. Indulge in sensual pleasure, which is base, vulgar, worldly, ignoble, and not beneficial. Practice of self mortification, which is painful, ignoble, and not beneficial. Abandoning both these extremes, the Buddha discovers the middle path which leads to enlightenment. This is the noble eightfold path, namely right understanding, samadhi, right thoughts, samma sankappo, right speech, samma vacha, right action, samma kammanto, right livelihood, samma ajivo, right efforts, samma vayamo, right awareness, samma sati, right concentration, samma samadhi. Then the Buddha expounded the Four Noble Truths, which is essence of his teaching. The noble truth of suffering. The birth is suffering, old age is suffering, disease is suffering, death is suffering, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and distress are suffering. Association with the unpleasant is suffering. Disassociation from the pleasant is suffering. Not to get what one desire is suffering. In short, attachment to the five aggregates is suffering. Then, second, the noble truth of the cause of suffering. It is this craving that causes rebirth, is bound up with the pleasure and lust, finds delight now here, now there. That is the craving of sensual pleasure, the craving for repeated rebirth, and craving for annihilation. Third, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. It is the complete fading away and destructions of this very caring. It is the complete fading away and destructions of this very craving, its forsaking, its renunciations, the liberation from it, leaving no place for it. The noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering, it is a noble eightfold path, namely right understanding, right thoughts, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right efforts, right awareness, right concentration. Then, three aspects of each noble truth. The Buddha explained that he has realized each noble truth in three ways: acceptance of the nature of each noble truth, Satya Jnana, intellectual understanding of the efforts required for each noble truth, Ichcha actual accomplishment of each noble truth, Katta the noble truth of suffering. One accepts the noble truth of suffering, but understand that the entire field of suffering should be fully realized at the experiential level. Parinaya. One explores the entire mundane field of suffering, transcendent it. Parinatana. Parinatam. The noble truth of cause of suffering. One accepts the noble truth of the cause of suffering, namely craving. One understands that this craving should be eradicated. Pahatabbam. One completely eradicates craving. Pahinama. The noble truth of the cessation of suffering. One accepts the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. One understands that the states of cessation of suffering should be directly experienced. Satchikathabham. One directly experiences the total cessation of suffering. Satchikatham, the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. One accepts the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. One understands that the path leading to cessation of suffering should be fully developed. Bhavitabbang. One has experienced every part of his Eightfold Noble Path. One has developed it to the fullest extent. Bhavitabbam. The Buddha declared that he had acknowledged the attainment of the incomparable supreme enlightenment, Anuttara Samma Sambodhi, only after the absolute true intuitive knowledge regarding the Four Noble Truths is their way. Therefore, the 12 modes and before perfectly clear to him. Accepting the truth merely at the devotional level because we believe in the words of the Buddha or at the intellectual level will not liberate us. We have to realize the truth at the actual level, at the experimental level. This alone will liberate us. Of course, accepting the truth as announced by the liberated person is helpful. A Buddha's dasana, it's called a wisdom, a Buddha's jnana, like knowledge, Buddha's Vimukti, liberation, will give us wonderful inspirations, wonderful guidance. We must make full use of this inspiration. We must, we must make use of this guidance, yet it is our own direct experience which will liberate us. Step by step, keep moving toward the final goal with direct experience. No imagination, no blind belief, no blind belief, no dogma, no philosophy. Observe the truth as they experience it from moment to moment. Yatha bhutang jnana dassana. And this is vipassana. Yatha bhutang jnana dassana. Keep on developing vipassana with the base of sila, samadhi. Keep on developing vipassana to come out of all the bondages, to come out of all the miseries. Make best use of this wonderful Dhamma, this wonderful path. One is so fortunate to get the pure path, the pure Dhamma, the pure technique. You have you have it. Now you have to work, continue to work diligently. Bhavatu Sabba Mangalam. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.